This is a Dragon Blazer production, and I am the little boogeyman.
All right. Coming down the aisle, your podcast tag team champions of the world, Boomer and Blaze.
Hello, everyone, and welcome finally to another edition of the Boomer and Blaze Show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze.
Here we are, finally, real life getting in the way all the time and keeping us from recording. We apologize. We wanted to be able to get one in today, so the way to do that is to review WrestleMania XL.
Which we probably
that is going to
do around this time anyways.
We were gonna do it anyway. It just happens to work out that my co-host here has to work today, but we can squeeze this in since we don't have to stop and watch matches because we've both seen Mania over the weekend. I actually I did not watch any of Saturday. Of course, I should be saving this. I didn't watch Saturday until the next morning. I watched all of night one Sunday morning because I had to work. So I just avoided. Can you believe I stayed off Facebook for that whole night? Because I didn't want to, I legit stayed off Facebook. It can be done, kids, because I didn't want to be spoiled about anything. So I did do that. Yeah.
Sunday, I think, would have been the harder one. I would say there's one thing that happens in night one that is truly a huge shock, which I'm looking forward to talking about. But I would say that most of the shocks come in night two.
Yeah. Yeah. True that. And we will get to that in a minute. We're going to do a little bit of our normal pre-game rambling before we get to how are you doing, by the way? It's been a while. Yeah. I see your studio looks amazing.
I know. Yeah.
He's living it up over there. Moving on up.
Yeah, everybody complains about AI. This is what we get. Look at all this.
This is what we get. Look at what this place looks like. Mine is not AI. Mine's just my 40-year-old virgin studio that I have going on.
We might, yeah, but yours is real.
It is real.
I mean, AI is cool. This is totally real.
Totally real. He plays he plays the grand piano all the time.
I just have to, I might have to deal with some killer robots here and there, but whatever.
Look, I don't care if it's AI or not. I dig it. Looks good. I like it. We both got a look going. I dig it. It's cool. But be even better, like if you could find out a way to make it look like, I don't know, something wrestling theme behind you, that'd be pretty cool. But anyway,
I could probably make it happen. I just have to.
Yeah, it's something you got to play with. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, let's do our little rambling here real quick, and we're going to start with one side note. And I know we don't always cover every death in the world, but this one is a little bit of nostalgia for me. So we lost the lead singer, C.J. Snare, the lead singer of Firehouse. At 64 years old. And the reason, look, I only know one Firehouse song, and I apologize if people are hardcore Firehouse fans, but I only know one song. And every time I hear that song, it sends me back to school dances. Because I know for a fact in middle school, they played that song all the time. Their big hit, the only hit I know from Firehouse is Love of a Lifetime. And I know you know that one. Finally found the love of a lifetime. You know that one, right? Got to know that song. A love to last my whole life through.
Maybe.
If you heard it, because I'm no singer, but if you actually heard it, you would recognize it. As far as I know, that was their only huge hit, but I just specifically remember it from school dances, especially in middle school, maybe not so much in high school. But yeah, there you go. 64 years old.
This might be one of those songs that is before my time, but let's check. I'm looking at it right now on YouTube.
I know you know that. I'm guessing just knowing you, and maybe before your time. It's got to be from the 80s. But yeah, that was their one big popular song, and
playing right now. No, maybe. The intro sounds possibly familiar.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when you sent me this picture, I had no idea who this was.
Kind of figured that, but you know what? It's something I know. I'm a little older than you are. Not much, but
I don't know if I've ever heard this song before.
you may not have. You may not have. You're not. Man, that's possible. But I did, so that's why I brought it up. There you go, lead singer of Firehouse.
I've heard it.
There you go. You recognize it now. I thought if you heard the chorus, you might
I just
recognize
had
it.
to get
There
to
you go.
I just had to jump to the chorus. Yeah.
There you go. But last night when I was
really wasn't a big part of my life.
Mine was only because of the school dances. I guess because it's the specific memory is why. Actually, 8th grade dancing with one specific girl, but I'm not going to say any names. But I was someone I had a really big crush on, so I remember the dance specifically. The good old days. The good old days. Indeed. So there you go. Oh, look at that. I forgot about this. See, we haven't recorded so long, and this is all new, and I forgot we had the ticker. I totally forgot about the ticker. How could I forget?
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I saw it, I said the really cool thing is if anything actually happens, like breaking news during the podcast, we could throw it down there. We're getting all like ESPN over here. It's good stuff. All right. Let's move on and let's talk about something that we saw for the one time in our life, the once in a lifetime total eclipse, the total eclipse. And some people, a total eclipse of the heart, and I need you more. I think some people, but when they were first talking about this, I knew there were some people confused because there were people saying, well, there's been eclipses, there's been eclipses. I'm like, yes, please pay attention. This is a totality eclipse. That was the part. We've had partial eclipses. There's also been total eclipses like the last one that took place, like this was in Antarctica, but that's the only place you could see it. This could be seen everywhere. This was a total eclipse.
A lot of total eclipses
all over
happen over the ocean, so that's why we don't get to see a lot
of them. This is rare for everybody to get to see it. The last time it happened like this was 1979. So that tells you how often it happens. They're predicting the next time we see one of these will be 2042. So so there you go. But it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool when it first started. I was at work, but we obviously weren't that busy because everybody was out. They were going to the eclipse. When it first started, I'm like, I thought it was going to get darker, and I thought it would get cold, and it changed so fast, like right before totality. Gosh, it just got dark so quick and cold so fast, and I got to watch the whole thing progress. I had the glasses. I had some eclipse glasses, so I got to see the whole thing progress. It was pretty cool, man. It was. It was very cool to see.
We had that kind of money to brand the moon right there.
The brand the moon, yeah.
With our logo in real life.
Dude, I saw. I should have
watched the Boomer and Blaze show during the eclipse.
Yeah. We'd be like the bat signal, but it's a Boomer and Blaze show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I should have known. Somebody actually made a video somehow, and it was the solar flare, a picture of the solar flare that came out, and they zoomed in, and the solar flare was actually a Dollar General built right there on the moon.
Yeah.
Pretty funny, right? Because they're everywhere. You know what I mean? So, but hey, look, the eclipse happened, and we're all still here. It wasn't the rapture.
I think I saw one that was the Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. So it wasn't the rapture. It wasn't the giants moving across the country. It was just an eclipse. Calm the hell down. We're all still here. Either that or we both stayed when the rapture came, one or the other. I don't know. I'm just saying, everybody I know is still here, so I'm pretty sure everything's fine. It was just an eclipse.
Sinners,
Like, dude, it's just like I can't say I hate social media because social media is just, it is now, but some people on there just, I can't take anymore. There's still people making videos like something wasn't right during the eclipse. Everything was fine during the eclipse. Everything was fine. All this stuff here, that's just stuff happening. That's sciencey, planety stuff. It's fine. Let's calm down. I'm a conspiracy person, but everything doesn't have to be something else. You know what I mean? And for 4 minutes and 3 seconds, everything in the world was just peace. Everybody staring up at the sky. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Maybe the only time in my area, I heard gunshots.
Oh, well, you guys in Crestline are off the hook, and I live in a big city. I don't know what you guys, I don't know what's going on down here. Here's gunshots in Crestline, Ohio. I live right outside of Columbus.
We thought they were
like, I don't know.
But my friend was on Facebook, and apparently there was some gunshots, and somebody
Th-
was found dead.
look,
So
this is a real thing, and I'm pretty sure everybody's local that listens to us. Like, I experience this in Galleon all the time too. You hear it, and you're like, "Wait a second, was that fireworks or a gunshot?" You usually have to wait to hear it 2 or 3 more times before you're like, "Oh yeah, that's a gun, not fireworks." It's good times. Like, we live in the ghetto. We're gangster. You guys just don't know it. You know what I'm saying?
come on. Sure,
So anyway, there you go. The Eclipse. Hope everybody enjoyed it. By the way, this shouldn't shock you in our world. The #1 Google search after the Eclipse. Why do my eyes hurt? No, why do my eyes hurt was the #1 Google search because of idiots that were like, I don't need no glasses.
Oh, jeez.
Here's your sign. All right. All right. Moving on. We're going to talk real quick because, again, we're trying to get this episode in, but we're going to talk about 2 movies coming up. One's still in the works. One we've gotten a trailer for already, and I know you got to be as excited as me. I have not been to the theater since the pandemic, but there's some movies coming out that might make me go. Ladies and gentlemen, Beetlejuice. It is 2024, and Batman and Beetlejuice have both came back. I'm talking about the Batman. I know we've had many versions of Batman, but I can't wait. The trailer looks great. I'm excited. Michael Keaton's excited about it. It's Tim Burton, man. I mean, what else do we got to say? Super stoked. Yeah. Super stoked. I see no way. Look, I don't expect it to be better than the original, but I also don't think it's going to be a disappointment. I just don't see any way it's going to be I don't care about critics and all that, but I just don't see any way it's not going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, my expectations are not to go into this and it be better than the original. So I just want Beetlejuice again, and I think it's a good cast. We got Wednesday. I love to call her Wednesday.
Careful.
I know she has a real name. But...
Beetlejuice. Oh no! Oh
no! Oh! See, once you figure out the special effects, you can have Beetlejuice come in behind you.
Yeah, no. Do like a Community joke. Have you ever seen Community?
Yes. Come on, Community is great stuff.
So Community, for those who might not know, Community did a weird, amazing background joke where through 3 seasons, I believe this was a 3-season arc, somebody said Beetlejuice in 3 different episodes. And after the 3rd time someone said Beetlejuice, somebody dressed up like Beetlejuice comes walking by in the background. Yeah. It's a blink and you'll miss it situation, but
and listen to what
great jokes that they do on Community.
And listen to what he said. This wasn't somebody said it 3 times in one episode. This is
3 different episodes through 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons over 3 years. Beetlejuice. It was good stuff. Yeah, Community is there again, depends on your taste in shows, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, Community is good stuff. So there we go, Beetlejuice. We're gonna have movies to talk about just next week and on and on. Today I saw a trailer for Joker. We're not gonna talk about that this week.
I saw there we go. One. I haven't watched that trailer yet.
Beetlejuice. The other one that is official now, and Shooter McGavin spoiled it. Adam Sandler acted a little mad about that. But anyway, Happy Gilmore 2 is going to happen. They have not started filming yet, but we are officially getting Happy Gilmore 2, and it'll be exclusive on Netflix. Netflix is taking over the world. Pretty soon we won't have any kind of streaming service. Everybody will just have Netflix. That's what I feel like. I just, every Adam Sandler movie's on Netflix. WWE's moving to Netflix. By the way, Triple H released a press statement that said in 2026, their deal with the cock is over, and they're pretty sure everything will just move to Netflix. So, yeah, because when Raw moves to Netflix, the PLEs are still going to be on the cock. So, anyway, there you go. We are officially going to get Happy Gilmore 2. So we'll see. It's going to be a little sad because there's some people we can't have. Bob Barker can't make an appearance, unless he's still alive, because the Mandela effect kind of. I know. I know, but it'll be interesting to see. Look, I'm a big Adam Sandler fan, and I even like Hubby Halloween took crap. I thought it was funny.
Hubby Halloween.
I like Little Nicky. I don't know the only Adam Sandler movie I can honestly say that I hate. Jack and Jill was too much. Jack and Jill was.
It was. Previews alone was like, I'm good with that one.
It was too much. Concept was fine, but yeah, Jack and Jill was not good. He actually has. I don't have Netflix currently because I don't keep it all the time. But anyway, he has a new movie on right now called Spaceman. That trailer looked interesting because there's a giant talking spider in the shuttle with him. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, called Spaceman. So if you have Netflix, check it out. Happy Gilmore 2 is coming. All right.
You
Moving along. Well, go ahead. Know if you have some.
I gotta say one thing. Little Nicky was great for one thing. It gave us the wonderful line, Popeye chicken is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And every time I had Popeye's chicken, I believe I said that stupid line every single time.
Do you think in today's culture that is it's an offensive movie? Do you think that's an offensive movie? Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably.
I'm trying to think of something really bad about it.
Well, I'm talking about as far as like because of the world today. I mean, Satan's in it. He's from hell. I mean, it would offend some people. That's what I'm talking about. We don't get offended by stuff like that. Like I think one of the.
Let me put it to you like this: you say that would offend some people today. Dogma came out, and when Dogma came out, there was protests and everything from Christians. It's not a matter of the day. When it comes to that kind of stuff, there's going to be people that hate on it regardless.
And I was just about to say that right there is one of the to me, if you can put aside, now I don't have all those issues, but if you can put aside all your beliefs, religions, and all that, and just sit down and watch it, I think Dogma is one of the greatest movies ever made. But you can't go into it like, oh, they're shitting on God and blah blah. You just have to watch the movie and catch all the little. It's a genius film. My favorite Ben Affleck film. I'm not like a huge Affleck guy, but back in the day, like, come on, Matt Damon. It's a great movie. It's genius. But people get offended. Same with Tropic Thunder. Everybody's offended by that today. That's one of the greatest films ever made. Either
respect that movie for what it was.
It's black. The young people though have the blackface. But there's been a lot of heat online about the blackface with this new generation.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I see a lot of that. I literally look for the people that bitch about these things.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of hate for that blackface because it was clear in that movie that they were making fun of the absurdities. In fact, I think I see more people complain about what's his name? Who's the main character in that? Ben Stiller. I haven't said his name in forever.
Oh, I love you.
Doing the special needs character.
Yeah.
About the blackface because they don't make the blackface into a caricature, like a lot of people that have done that in the past. And by all means, I understand people's issues.
Oh yeah, but in this case, it's funny because it's a movie about making a movie, and it's just a guy that's so devoted to acting that he stays in his character the entire time.
Type character.
Yeah,
and
good stuff.
I see a lot of people praise that movie actually. So, all right,
just to point it out.
Let's move on.
All right. Well, we have one non-WWE thing we're going to throw in here real quick. I know we don't talk a lot about AEW anymore, but that's, to be honest, because it's just kind of AEW just kind of is, and that's fine. I'm not hating on it. But anyway, I do want to send a shout out and a congratulations to Adam Copeland. He finally defeated Christian and became TNT champion. So congratulations. Took 3 times. Well, technically he won once. That's why he's a 2-time champ. But that's when they cashed in the briefcase and took it right back. So this time it was an I Quit match, and there you go. Adam Copeland, the new TNT champion.
Cool
I heard
poster.
It is. I did not make it. I will say that we're using it on the show. I didn't make that poster. Let's just throw that out there. My bad. I did Photoshop it, but I didn't make it. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out.
There's a lot of detail to that poster.
A lot of detail.
That I'm saying you don't have any kind of talent, but that's
not that much talent. No, it is a sick. That's actually AEW put that out. It is a sick poster. So there you go, Edge. You know what I heard? I see all these people online hate. I think, sometimes these internet marks are hilarious because all these people like, what do you think Edge is thinking? He was at WrestleMania last year. Now Edge went there by choice. Like, Edge didn't go there because of money. He didn't go there because of creative. Edge went there because he wanted to wrestle on TV every week till he can't wrestle anymore. And WWE wanted to use them as special appearances. That's why he went there. Like, Edge is doing this because he wants to. Leave the guy alone. He did the WWE thing. He's got plenty of money. He's doing this so he can actually wrestle before it's over. Give him a break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just saying. He had a WWE contract offer. It's not like they didn't want him. He just wanted to actually wrestle more. So anyway, congratulations, Adam Copeland. on becoming two-time TNT champion. And there you go. All right. Well, unless you have something else, I only have one more thing before we get into this. We dive into Mania. One more thing. Anything else from you?
No. Oh, shoot.
Nope.
That is the wrong one.
Oh, pay attention, young man. All right. Well, then we know.
Yeah.
Did you push the wrong button?
Yeah.
Told you not to push. Don't push the red button. Don't push the red button. Don't do it. Anyway.
Yeah, no. Okay, I'm continuing.
All right. It is time for our Chic Tweet of the Week.
Chic Tweet.
And listen, this is something I've never seen, but I know this is a reference to a show. Not a show I've ever seen, but I know this is a show that exists. And this week's Chic Tweet is, if I don't say yes to the dress, what the fuck are you going to do about it?
Jeez. No. Nope.
What are you going to do, Jabroni? And I do believe that's the name of the show, right? There's a show named Say Yes to the Dress.
Say Yes to the Dress.
Like
there is, I guess.
That's why. So I was correct. It is a show. I've never seen it. I just like it because what are you going to do about it? He will camel clutch you straight from heaven, baby. Your jabroni. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
All right. All right. Well, there we go. Now, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're about to break down WrestleMania. We didn't really talk about this enough off air, but I assume we're not going to like grade every match. Like
we'll save actual grading for
when we get to it. Yeah.
When we get to it in like 30 years.
Yeah. Now, I will throw out some on certain ones, but this is just going to be us. We're going to discuss all these matches. Some of them we'll just talk quickly. Some of them will break down more deep, and there's other things we're going to throw in there. But here we go. WrestleMania, Philadelphia. And this was WrestleMania XL, and of course they were pushing it as the biggest WrestleMania ever. First things first, let's talk about the stage. People were hating on the stage. That every year the stage isn't going to be big, elaborate like it was in SoFi Stadium. It's always depends on the layout of the stadium, and of course they want to maximize seats. I personally liked the stage. There's nothing wrong with the stage. It was a throwback to the WrestleMania that was in San Francisco. It was the one Sting wrestled on. I think that was like 31 maybe or something. So I had no problem with the stage. I thought the stage was fine. I did hear though, however, people that were there said the green lights were blinding them. You know how the ring lights were green and like the screen was green the whole time. And someone took a picture like from way up high and you could see those lights were like going clear back like over the audience.
Yeah.
You know, so what? But anyway, I thought the stage was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was cool. I kind of miss like the old, I thought maybe they would have put a bell on the top, like when they were in New York and they had like a Statue of Liberty on top of the ring. Something like that might have been cool, but I thought the stage was pretty cool. I dug it. I have no problem with old school. It doesn't always have to be.
I didn't realize huge and people elaborate. Had an issue with it. I liked it.
It's not like there were a ton of people. It's just some people were like, it's kind of plain. Yeah. Well, it doesn't always have to be, super, super elaborate in my opinion. Again, it has to do with how many people you want to get in there and the seating. And they got 72,000 plus in there. So, I mean, and people showed pictures that were back behind the sign and they made sure they didn't sell seats where you couldn't see. The people that were back there were up high enough that they could see. So it was a pretty cool setup. I dug it. Before we dive into the matches, I sent you a photo because I want to talk about an MVP of WrestleMania. Dude, Samantha Irvin. How can you not love Samantha Irvin? By the way, after WrestleMania, she got love from Michael Buffer. And I know you know who Michael Buffer is.
Oh, I have a pretty good idea who the hell
famous
Buffer is. Yes,
famous ring announcer.
Are you ready to rumble?
Actually, used to, and you probably didn't see it a lot, but you'll get to because we're getting into WCW. He ended up being on WCW pay-per-views and would always be the ring announcer for the main event. So that's how I knew Michael Buffer because I didn't watch much boxing. But this girl right here announced every ring announcer for every match, both nights, and I love the fact that no spoilers till we get there, but dude, that call after the main event of night 2, like I love that Samantha lets her emotions come through, and she's just so into her job, and she's so good. Like she makes you feel everything. So my hat's off to Samantha, one of the best ring announcers ever, in my opinion. And I don't know how long she's been doing it now. I can't quite remember, but man, she makes you feel everything, and she did a great job. And yeah, that call at the end, we're getting no spoilers, but she wasn't the only one choking up. telling you that right now, but we're going to get to it. That main event. Woo. Anyway.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Samantha. I don't think I sent a picture about this, and we didn't get to talk about it because we haven't recorded. But of course, this was our first pay-per-view with the sponsorship on the mat. We had Prime on the mat. Big shock because Logan Paul, of course, owns Prime. So, but I thought it just helped give it a big fight feel. I liked it. It doesn't bother me at all. You had Prime on the mat, Prime on some of the turnbuckles. I was okay with it. I mean, it gives it a big fight. Even when they were fighting in matches, they would have sponsors showing up on the LED screens. All that to me just makes it feel like a big fight. I'm okay with it. What's your opinion?
I I will get to it. there was one time that I found the
the irony. I think I know where you're going, but yeah.
Someone kissing it.
Yeah. But other than that, like I just think it all adds to the.
No, I don't.
It all adds to the.
I mean, all these old pay-per-views were getting like Snickers and toys.
Slim Jim back in the day, which is back again, but Slim Jim was huge in WCW, and they were everywhere on all the pay-per-views. So, hey, money's money. It's fine. I'm okay with it. By the way, Cody is now the first official WWE superstar. Well, other than Logan, obviously, but Cody has his own Prime drink now. So there you go. Red, white, and blue bottle and everything. So Cody's on the Prime wagon. So there we go, the Prime wagon. Anyway, here we go. So night one, Triple H, of course, came out and kicked off Mania. And this officially, last year Vince was still in the mix. This is officially the first WrestleMania without any McMahon. Well, Stephanie, obviously, but without Vince's fingerprints. This is Triple H's first full WrestleMania. They are really pushing this as the Triple H era or the Paul Levesque era, depending on who's talking.
Love that.
Me too. I am totally cool with it. We're going to get into it now. Triple H is really, after this is over, he keeps pushing this as the biggest WrestleMania. Look, money wise, gate wise, and all that, this was the biggest WrestleMania ever. But some of these matches were kind of, which we're going to dive into. Quick side note: Cody Rhodes, over $1 million in merchandise sold at WrestleMania. Yeah. Dude, Cody Rhodes is definitely the next Hulk Hogan. Cody's a better wrestler. I don't mean it that way. You know where I'm going. He's the next Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Rock, whatever you want to say. Next John Cena. Cody is definitely the next top baby face that can carry the company without it.
Yeah.
So Triple H came out and kicked things off, introduced everybody, and our first match of WrestleMania was the women's world title match between Becky and Rhea. And of course, they let us know on commentary that Becky had been dealing with, they said, strep throat, right? Correct? Becky was sick. I think they said
they were
strep
saying
throat.
that she was sick, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I was not a huge fan of, it's WrestleMania, right? We got to talk about entrances. I didn't mind that for Becky's entrance, they were using like some excerpts out of her book, but I didn't like how, I don't think you needed the big digital book flapping open. I don't know. I wasn't that crazy about the way they did Becky's entrance. I get it, you're trying to sell your book, but it was kind of
I actually loved it.
I liked everything. I liked everything out of the book. I don't know. It was just something about like the big book. I don't think I needed that, but whatever. It was fine.
I thought the book was cool. I liked both of these entrances a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's a set of precedents to WrestleMania. Big.
Oh yeah, you gotta start off big and good, and definitely. And Rhea looked like a little kid up there with Motionless in White. I remembered it, singing her entrance theme. It's her favorite band, and obviously her entrance song, and she looked ecstatic to have those guys singing her.
Yeah.
But I noticed Becky also had her book tied into her gear. Like there were like lines from her book all through her wrestling gear. Rhea's entrance, badass. Rhea always looks badass. She's a very dominant presence.
Okay, I have a question because apparently a lot of people have had this issue. Did you, when the band first came out, did you at first think that was Rhea until she came out?
Wow, no, I didn't. I knew who it was.
At first, I was like, "Man, is that Rhea? She looks a little different," and then I realized no, he was just supposed to look like Rhea, and that wasn't Rhea. And then Rhea came out, and I was like, "Oh,
got him, got him."
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it because I'm gonna say that this match was kind of rough. I thought this match wasn't that great. It was real botchy. But
So I'm starting to think we're gonna have completely different views about this pay-per-view.
Well, maybe not. Maybe you didn't know, and maybe they didn't bother you. I don't know. I just thought this first match was okay, and I get it. Becky was sick, and Rhea actually came out after the fact and said she had a panic attack right before she went out. So they weren't at the top of their game. Maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know. I'm not saying it was a horrible match, but there were a lot of botches, and it seemed a little off. Their timing seemed off to me. I don't know. I mean, go ahead. You can give me your thoughts on it.
I guess I didn't see it as off. I thought it was decent. I enjoyed the match. Not one of my best of the night, but it was decent. I liked the ending. I liked the powerbomb on the turnbuckle.
Oh yeah, the ending was great.
The Riptide. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent match. It could have been, and a lot of it was probably because Becky wasn't feeling good. Rhea had her panic attack. I guess my expectations were higher because Becky was the man. I'm not saying it was a horrible match. I just don't think it's the best match these two could have had. I'll put it that way. I mean, it was still a good way to kick off Mania. I thought maybe they would have went with the Usos first, but they went with the women's title match. I thought it was a good choice. Like you said, the entrances set the tone, and Rhea walked out. Still champ and a clean win. That's something else I like. Is Rhea's been a dominant champion, and she doesn't have to have everyone helping her get her victory. She gets them on her own, and it did have a good finish. So overall, it was a good way to kick off Mania. I just expected a little more out of these two, but not hating it at all. I thought it was a good way to start, and I'm glad Rhea retained. One of only two champions. Spoiler alerts, but she's only one of two champions to retain their titles, kids. So
my gosh, it was the other. Obviously, it was Roman Reigns.
Obviously, wink. No, wink, wink, wink. So there you go. Rhea retains, and congratulations to Rhea. I think she's got to be going on a year now as women's champ. I would think, because her and Seth's titles both debuted around the same time. So yeah, she's got to be going on a year. So there
I believe she won that last. She won that.
Oh, you're right. She won it at Mania last year
versus Charlotte Flair, who was not. Here.
Charlotte's injured. She's been out for a while. Yeah. So yeah, Charlotte's just on the sidelines. I know it's kind of weird, right? You're like, man, Charlotte's not there. I actually had that thought going through my head because I don't watch enough Raw. Because I'm in my head, I'm like, who does Rhea have as competition on Raw? I mean, already beat Becky. Charlotte's not around. Like, I don't know the women's roster well enough. You know what I mean? I was trying to think in my head, but anyway. All right. Well,
I watched Raw and I saw who was they're coming up next.
Oh, I did watch Raw this week because it was Raw after Mania. You had to watch. You know what I mean?
I actually watched it all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watched it last
the
night.
boss, the final boss will be back. He will be back. He's coming for Cody. Not that Cody has anything he wants, folks. Wink, wink. Anyway.
I figured if we have time, we'll talk a little bit about Raw.
Squeeze a little bit out of there.
After we're done with WrestleMania. Unless you want to talk about anything that happens that continues this afterwards. Like right now, we can talk about how it was, she got attacked by, oh gosh, why can't I think of her name right now? I like her too. You can't remember her name either, can you?
No.
She was attacked by that one girl. I feel horrible. I can't think of her. I'm just drawing a blank.
It might come to you. Yeah, we'll try to do a little Raw squeeze in at the end if we have time there. I can't remember her name off the top of my head anyway, but all right. So next was the ladder match, and they did what I thought they were going to do, except they just kind of made it pretty clear when it started that the titles were going to get split because you had to. Normally, if this was a unified tag match, they would have put the belts on the same, like there would have been one of each or something. So I knew right away when I saw those sets hanging, like, here we go, finally. They're going to split the tag titles.
Yeah.
And of course, hey, it's a 6-pack ladder match. No surprise entries.
Cool.
Like there was teas, but there was some cool gear. We had DIY come out, full DX gear. I love that tribute. Xavier Woods, which I know you probably weren't a guy that really watched TNA, but that was Xavier Woods' old TNA gear. He was called Apollo Creed. He was like an Apollo Creed character His name wasn't Apollo though, but anyway, he was an Apollo Creed type character when he was in TNA. So that was his old TNA gear he wore in this tag team match. But let's talk about the MVP of the ladder match because I think it's R-Truth. R-Truth is a national treasure, man. I don't even know if we deserve R-Truth. By the way, this will probably blow your mind, but R-Truth is the longest member of the current roster. Like he's been there longer than anyone else on the current roster.
And Randy Orton?
Yeah. R-Truth is the longest current. But anyway, he's a gem. Because I'll tell you what, how many ladder matches, tag team ladder matches have you seen with a hot tag in them? You know what I mean? Like,
true. I loved it. It was so good.
It was not only was it great because R-Truth went for the hot tag, it was great because Miz did the hot tag. Like you gotta love R-Truth, R-Truth, and that's why I'm glad that happened. I was shocked on the SmackDown side that A-Town Down Under.
That was a surprise.
That was a surprise to me. That was a shock. And then Grayson Waller took that hellacious powerbomb through the ladder after he won the championships. There was a spot, thankfully they're okay, but there was a spot where Pete Dunne and Tyler, there was a spot where Damian Razor edged Pete Dunne into Tyler Bate, like while he was on the ladder, and then Bate fell right on top of Pete Dunne. But they checked them both out afterwards and they were fine. Like he wasn't supposed to fall on top of him like that. So that was like one little accident in this match, but I think it was everything you expected. I'm glad Awesome Truth got their moment. One of the craziest parts to me, and I'm sure you noticed this, everybody did. So there was a part where the ladder started to break. Did you notice the leg breaking on the ladder? I don't know if you did, but this is the spot where Damian tried to start climbing the ladder and you saw Ref in there grabbing his legs. Well, that's because the fucking ladder was somehow these guys did not notice. So Damian's on this side trying to climb up close, and then Miz gets on it, and you can literally see this thing is buckled. Like, I don't know if I ever recall a ref, and Damian's just like playing it like a heel and like, fuck you, what are you doing? Like, Damian don't realize the ref's trying to be like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go up there. The ladder's broke. But yeah, that was kind of that was a crazy moment. So there you go. 2 sets of tag champs now. Maybe hopefully we'll get some new belts. That would be nice. I was never a fan. I was never a fan of these Spartacus tag titles or whatever you want to call them.
I like the Spartacus. I hope they keep it from one side and then do something.
They look
for the other.
They do look better silver. When they first came out with them and they were copper. Remember they were copper plated. Those were horrible. They are better with the silver plates, but I don't know. I think it's just time for a change. But I really enjoyed the ladder match. I always love multi-tag team ladder matches. I thought it was good.
Yeah, and then the whole both titles on the line was really cool. I wanted to point out that I remembered who it was.
Oh, okay.
It was Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan
attacked Rhea Ripley backstage. Apparently, Rhea injured her, and that was her revenge and return. So, I actually would not hate it if Rhea
did take out Liv. So
yes,
that would be a good person. A shocking win to get this. And we're going to dive into this, and it's a possibility because I'm telling you, this Triple H era is going to open up so many doors. It's proof of it. The next pay-per-view premium live event is Backlash, and after all, we found out the main event's going to be. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. We'll talk about it in the world, but an interesting world title match at Backlash. We're not going to talk about it yet because I forgot we're not quite there. If anybody hasn't seen Mania, I don't know what you're doing if you haven't seen it. But anyway, let's move on. Ladder match I thought was good, fun, entertaining, everything I really expected. Yeah. The only shock, again, to me in that was that A-Town Down Under won the SmackDown tag titles. We'll see where it goes.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was shocking.
It was a shock. That was when I think a lot of people when it started probably would have thought New Day right away, would have won.
I was thinking New Day, but you know what? I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it either. I like to see the younger stars. Everybody's got to get some time. Everybody's got to get an opportunity. So
right.
All right, so on to our next match. It was supposed to be Dragon Lee and Ray against Santos and Dominic. Dragon Lee was hurt, and Andrade took his place. Personally, I would have rather saw Dominic Ray too. I don't know why we didn't just have a rematch and let Dominic get his comeuppance. Let Dominic
I'm
win this
wondering
time.
if maybe Dom they don't trust Dom as much, and they didn't want him being singles in WrestleMania.
Well,
Either
my
that
two
or
things.
maybe Ray's at the age where he really shouldn't be doing singles matches. Maybe he.
I mean, he still fights him on TV. I don't know. It was interesting, and I get why. And here we're mixing two factions because Santos left the LWO, but Dom's with Judgment Day, but he's team. I don't know. You're trying to tell the Ray and Santos story. I don't know. It was fine. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania match to me, maybe because I don't watch SmackDown enough. But I would have liked to seen the one-on-one rematch, and maybe there is a reason. Maybe Ray was hurt. Maybe, like you said, he is getting old. Ray, the fact Ray can still go, whether you're a huge Ray fan or not, is amazing. It goes he never missed a step. This match was fine. I'm not gonna hate on it, but it just felt like I was watching SmackDown. It didn't really feel like Mania until the end when the masked luchadors got involved. And there was a cool moment for Philly as we found out Jason Kelsey was one of the.
I liked that. That definitely.
I did too. And you could tell Kelsey was having fun. You could tell that.
That was a match that I was like, I wasn't super.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was
interested in Jason Kelsey, and I guess there was another offensive lineman, but I don't.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name. Apologies to Eagle fans.
Kelsey, I don't know you. I'm sorry.
I will say I was looking more forward to this match. I'm sorry to knock any Ray Phoenix. I got a little more excited when they put Andrade in there because at first I'm like, why is Ray on here? I'm not trying to knock him, but this is WrestleMania. Hell, Carlito could have been in this match. He's in the LWO. I just didn't think Ray Phoenix should have been the guy in there, but So I got a little more excited when Andrade was in there, and it was good wrestling, but it was just kind of eh. But the Jason Kelsey thing made it worth it. WrestleMania moments is what it's about, and that was a good one.
Yeah. No,
but the match itself was, eh.
It was fine, but it elevated a little bit with Kelsey, and I mean that was cool for the Philadelphia fans. I mean,
oh, absolutely, you gotta. Always want to play to the crowd wherever you're at. You always want to play to the hometown. That's definitely wrestling 101. So there you go. And by the way, the winners were Ray and Andrade. I guess I forgot to, thanks to Jason Kelsey. Before our next match, we got Lil Wayne, who is now the greatest rapper in the world. Now I'm a Lil Wayne fan, but this was bad. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I had to. I literally, before I made the TikTok of night one, I had to Google what fucking song he did. You couldn't hear him when he came out. And then when they were trying to cut him off so Jay could come out, he was still trying to sing. And then you could hear him cussing and shit. But it was a mess. That Lil Wayne concert was horrible. That was a bad idea.
And then I was very sad that it was Lil Wayne that was introducing Jay. But here's what I had to say about Lil Wayne. When they came out with the Lil Wayne, the greatest rapper in the world, I'm not a big fan of rap, and I felt insulted for every other rapper on the planet because that is the most number one. Fuck Lil Wayne. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. What was his claim to fame? Licking me like a lollipop.
Oh, he's got way more. No, that's not even his best song. That's just the only one you know.
That's the only song.
No, it's not the only song, but that's okay.
I'm hearing that shitty ass song in the in bars. You got to realize I'm not exactly a fan of rap.
Right. But point is, it was bad, and I am a fan, but it was bad. It was a mess.
Out after Lil Wayne should have been offended because he's 10 times the rapper that Lil Wayne is, in my opinion. Because that was Snoop Dogg. I like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I do like Snoop Dogg. But yeah, no, I was.
Yeah.
I was disgusted and insulted for rappers everywhere.
Yeah. And going into this, first of all, this match would have never happened. Let's make it clear if Vince was still in charge, because Vince hates brother versus brother. Nobody wants to see brother versus brother.
That's why it's only happened 3 times in the entire.
It's only the 3rd time, yeah. And to be honest, the first time it happened is because Brett wanted it. To me, brother versus brother is a built-in story. And maybe Well, maybe I set my expectations too high. I was disappointed in this match. I thought that Jimmy and Jay might steal the show on night one. They
Yes,
didn't.
I actually. Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring up. I really enjoyed the six-pack tag team match, but the beginning felt sloppy. I did.
Oh yeah,
feel
there was
that
some there was some
was
sloppiness.
sloppy. But
Yeah,
but,
there
but,
was
but
there was some.
after East Pound or Down or whatever the hell that team's name is.
Bait and done, yeah, bait and done.
Yeah, Tyler Bate. I thought that was Austin Theory.
You're talking about A-Town Down Under, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
A-Town Down
talking
Under.
about.
Waller in Theory. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
We're pretty sure Theory was one of them.
You mixed names between two tag teams, that's why I got.
I know. I was
anyway.
I was making fun of it.
Yeah.
After they won the first titles, I thought it picked up and got better. So
it did. Once Waller went through the ladder and everything, it got a little better, but it was a little rough at first. It was a little botchy. But back to the Usos, though, it sounded like you might have been agreeing with me that this was a little disappointing.
I was expecting a lot more, and maybe it was my expectations were too high. But there was just way too many super kicks. It was just kind of boring to me.
Did you notice? Now we all know what the storyline is, and I don't mean this storyline. Did you notice the hesitation during the whole match? I'm not talking like acting like they're hesitant for storyline purposes. Like it really looked like they either forgot what the fuck they were supposed to do, or they weren't sure what to do next. Like there were just moments of Will Ferrell from Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands, and it was slow. Now it started off hot, like Jay went after him right away, but yeah, it definitely wasn't what it could have been. And I also know this is probably not the last time we'll see this, obviously, but it was a little disappointing. But I liked Jimmy did the whole on the knees. Oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was hoping Jay was gonna.
That was good.
I was hoping Jay was gonna kick his face in anyway. Like, I know that's not normally what face does, but I was just sitting there like, dude, kick him. The fans will pop like crazy. Don't fall for this. Don't fall for this heel stuff. Just kick him in the face. But
you know,
he fell.
Sometimes
you
you have to. You gotta fall for it.
Yeah, you do. But and we'll get. But I'll tell you, we'll get there someday. But man, if this was like our regular show and we had to grade it, the Usos would not get a very good grade for this performance.
No, I was very disappointed in this match.
Me too.
It's not that it was a terrible match. It was just I had high expectations. I was looking. In fact, I originally said that I
thought this would steal night one, is what I thought.
I thought this would steal night one. I thought I wanted this to. I wanted, if you remember right, I said I wanted Jay to win the Intercontinental title
and have it for that. Yeah.
And and then I wanted this to be for the title, brother versus brother. But I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah, because the match wasn't that great. Maybe the problem is Jimmy knows he's Marty Jannetty. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh.
Like, let's be honest. Yeah. Jay's going to be a huge single star. Once the Bloodline story's over and once this feud's over, then what happens to Jimmy? Then what? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just my opinion. I might get hate mail for it, but I'll take it. Bring some heat. We never get it. We'll take some heat. Yeah, I think Jay's going to be the bigger star. I'm joking. That's why the reason this match wasn't that great, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't. So there you go. But our next match, kind of a showcase match, and it had my future wife in it. She just doesn't know it yet. This was the WrestleMania. The Storm came at Mania. But look, yes, I do think Jade's very beautiful. I'm just a huge Jade fan. Period. Not just her looks, but we had the 6-man tag. It was Damage Control against Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade. Every time Bianca hits someone with her hair, I die a little. That sounds fucking brutal, man.
It does.
And you know what this was a showcase for the ladies. It got a little bit of everybody on the card. They're being smart with Jade. Jade has been spending plenty of time in the Performance Center because obviously she's still, she was green in AEW, but they also wanted it to be that dominant character. They're handling like they should. She was dominant in the Rumble. In this match, she got the hot tag in and steamrolled over everybody. I thought it was done well. I thought it was a good match. It was entertaining,
Yeah.
and they've built this up. It didn't have a ton of build, but this was like the come down match. It should have been the come down match for the Usos, but unfortunately, the match didn't. You know what I mean? But I think that's why this was positioned that way. I thought it was a good match. I was glad to see Jade make her debut, and I'm like, dude, think about Rhea versus Jade. Sign me up for that. They're not on the same show, but could you imagine Rhea versus Jade? I would like to see Bianca. I would like to see Bianca and Jade go.
Hello?
But I thought it was good. It was entertaining. I enjoyed this match. I like the ladies. They did a good job.
Like
High flying moments. I like the ladies.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the ladies as well.
Not bad. There's another match when they announced it. Obviously, I was excited to see Jade, but I'm like, I don't know. But it was a good match. I mean, everyone's talented in that ring. All the Damage Control is talented. It was fun. I had a good time. So,
and I guess I'm told that the outfits they all wore were X-Men inspired.
Obviously Jade was Storm.
Jade was Storm. I'm trying to remember. I think the one that was wearing the hat was supposed to be Gambit, maybe. And
I don't know. That was Naomi.
Storm.
But I always think Jade looks like Storm. I mean, Jade just kind of looks like Storm
Cyclops.
anyway. But
I think
Bianca.
Yeah, I think Bianca was supposed to be Cyclops. I didn't quite see it. Other than Storm, Jade as Storm, I knew that.
Yeah. So I'm not sure either. But Jade always looks like Storm to me. She's just got that vibe. I mean, but congratulations to Jade on a WrestleMania debut. It was a fun match. Had a good time. The next match, you know what? We only have 2 more matches to discuss, but this next match
stole the show.
No doubt, match of the night for night 1. No doubt,
stole the show.
Match of the
absolutely match of the night of night 1.
I mean, dude, look, Sami Zayn is one of my favorite wrestlers. I got to say that. Because every time Sami gets in these situations, he makes me feel everything. I did not expect Sami to win. By the way, Gunther's reign ends at 666 days. Is that bad luck? At first, I didn't expect Sami to win, right? This is why I love my different perspective. But when they did that backstage shot and his kid was there, I'm like, wait a second. And then when we get in the match, Gunther was more cocky than normal. And Gunther was investing a lot of time into talking shit to Sami's wife. And the false finishes, like, this was a 5-star match. Gunther is amazing. Sami Zayn is also amazing. And it's not just the wrestling. It's everything. Dude, is Gunther not a great storyteller? Like, you wouldn't expect that out of him either. He just looks like whatever. But the way he was talking to her and being all cocky, like, there was a point Sami was down and Gunther was basically just treating him like a rag doll and doing whatever he wanted to him, but still walking around, talking all this shit. You get all these false finishes. I mean, this was definitely the match of the night. Agreed. No doubt. It was a big 100%. Surprise. We already know that we're going to see his first title defense against Gable. I think this is going to get Gable into a singles character. I personally hope if they're going to push Gable, I want them to turn him heel, in my opinion, make him more serious, get him away from this shoe stuff.
Yeah.
Not that isn't entertaining, but if you want Gable to be like your Kurt Angle type, character, which Kurt Angle could be funny too, but all I'm saying is I think they're going to turn Gable bad so he can go after Sami and go after the title.
I think that will eventually happen, but after watching Raw, they definitely are planning a Gable versus Sami match.
They announced it for next week. It's happening next week.
So there's because they tagged on Raw and everything, and I was kind of surprised that Gunther did not show up on Raw. He made no comment. Imperium came out. That's what Gable and Sami fought. But yeah, this was the match of the night. The storytelling, it was everything. And then the way Sami comes back and just like out of nowhere, it was amazing.
And the hell of a kick from behind, and
okay, I gotta talk about my old co-host Craig real quick. Craig,
go ahead.
Craig and I argued over this. I wanted Sammy to win. I felt like Sammy has been one of the greatest for the longest time, and he's been amazing this last couple of years. And I felt like he deserved. Like, this is up there as one of the biggest. Like, this is a huge beating Gunther after that great reign. That is a huge accolade, and I felt like Sammy deserved it, and I wanted Sammy to win from the beginning.
Me too, and this is bigger than last year. Like, winning the tag titles, KO was and being the main event was great, but this, you ended the longest Intercontinental title reign ever. Way overdue. I agree, Sammy's always been great. It just took the bloodline to actually get him projected. But he's always been great. Remember when he was doing like the character where he hated all of us and he wore like the green, he dressed kind of military and would always talk bad, Sammy's always been a great character, great performer. But this, if you want to know what wrestling is supposed to be, go watch that match and watch that story. Match of the night, 5-star match, no doubt. Congratulations to Sammy, hands down.
But so Craig originally wanted Gunther to win this because he wanted Gunther to essentially relinquish the title and never get
do the NXT thing.
The thing that he did in NXT London or NXT UK or whatever, which is a cool story. But
in NXT,
I'm just more of a. I just wanted Sammy. I just felt Sammy deserved it.
Yeah, that worked. That worked in NXT, but that wouldn't work now. That wouldn't work main roster. Like, that's just not. Yeah. It wouldn't work. Not now. This is much better. Gunther lost. He lost fair and square, and when he comes back, I think he'll just stay gone for a while. But yeah, I didn't want him to just hand the title over because he was going for the next one. It worked at that time, and it worked then. But yeah, I wanted this. Sammy deserved this for sure.
Well, anyways, my point of bringing this up is the fact that Craig told me that as he was watching this match and the intro they gave Sammy, where he comes out from the back and then he hugs KO and then comes out.
And they're following him with.
Oh my gosh, I kind of want Sammy to win now. That was like, I want Sammy to win.
That's part of that production there now, which is good stuff. Remember the Raw before Mania, they followed Sammy all the way out of the arena and through the back when he was marching away from Gunther. Like, the production is part of the cinema. It's great shit.
Yeah.
How could you not want Sammy to win when you saw that moment backstage with KO? How could you not want it, man? And the great thing is Sammy's always the underdog, and I think he always will be, even as champion. Like, he'll always be considered, which just helps him be a great babyface. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always going to be like the underdog. It's good stuff. All right. Well, now we have to talk about the biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history. It was Roman Reigns and the final boss. Side note, I think this is the greatest version of The Rock ever. I love the final boss character. I fucking love it. Against Cody and Roman. My first question for you before we dive too much into the match, was it supposed to be a hat on Seth Rollins' shoulder, or was that a tumor? I wasn't sure what was going on with that outfit when he wore. Like, Seth's very eccentric, but even the commentators were debating whether that was a hat or not. I think it was supposed to be a hat. I don't know. It was interesting.
Seth stuff is interesting, okay?
That was above and beyond interesting, I would say, for sure. A lot more happened in this match than I expected. I didn't expect it to be all over the place. I should have guessed it. Basically, this was already a Bloodline Rules match to determine if a match was going to be Bloodline Rules. The Rock looked amazing to me. The Rock looked amazing.
The Rock was great.
And in a minute here, we're going to talk about all these great spots of the match. Rock looked great. I love all these guys. With all that being said, this match was way too fucking long. And when the official count came out that this match was almost 45 minutes, then I'm like, oh, now I know why this match felt so fucking long. I thought it was too long before I even saw the official time. There were parts of this match where I got bored. Not because there wasn't action, it was too long, man. Maybe it's just me. I thought it was too long. It's not even the minutes itself. Before I knew the minutes.
I really liked it a lot. It wasn't my favorite match because we already talked about what my favorite match is. I did not get bored. I thought it was a decent match.
See, but it was a decent match. It was 45 minutes long. Jesus. But that being aside, The Rock looked great. And talk about taking bumps, like getting rock bottom through the table, and mannerisms. Like Roman and Rock are two of the best people at selling and facials ever. And to put them together in the ring, it's just like it's a mountain of entertainment. I know this is more towards the end of the match, but Rock selling that spear, like, look, Roman's
my damn ass off.
Roman's in great shape, but when Roman and Rock are next to each other, Rock looks like a Greek god. And Roman spears him, and The Rock made it look like he literally broke in half. It was such a great sell.
Look, it was hilarious.
But do you know? I want to bring something.
So damn hard.
I want to bring something up by luck, and I may not remember this word, but before we started recording this morning, I was scrolling through TikTok, and Kevin Nash has a podcast. I don't listen to it, but I catch his TikToks every once in a while, and he was hating on this main event. Nash, really? Are you a bitter old fool or what?
I think he's a bitter old fool.
Yeah. Not this main event. Actually, Nash was hating on the night 2 main event. It makes it even worse. And we're going to get to it. We're going to get to that when I get to that. I thought he was bitching about this one, but he was bitching about night 2. We'll get to that in a minute. I fully expected the Bloodline to win the match. Obviously, that's what I expected.
I did too, because I wanted pretty much for this to be the world against Cody. In fact, I was predicting, and I was obviously wrong, I was predicting Seth Rollins to turn on Cody in this match. Because technically Seth Rollins had no incentive to win this match, to be honest with you. Like, we did not get to talk about this again because we didn't get to record. But I have the same thought of, if you really break this down into reality, why the fuck would have Seth done this? Besides, he's Cody's friend and he hates Roman. But yeah, he had no incentive. Not only did he not have an incentive, he got injured in this match and then had to go into his match not 100%. And
I mean,
in fairness, we'll see in night 2 that they did show a reason, but yeah. No, I kind of felt that I thought Cody was going to turn, because it'd be one thing if they had incentives for both.
Oh, you expected Seth. You're saying you expected Seth to turn in this match.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Oh.
Yeah, because
I didn't expect that. And the only reason I didn't expect that is because if that would have happened, then the next night you have 2 heels facing each other. Like, you couldn't have heel Seth and heel Drew face each other.
As well.
So that'd be one reason I knew that wasn't going to happen. But anyway, by the way, speaking of entrances, dude, the final boss entrance, I fucking loved it. Just saying, I loved The Rock's entrance.
I liked Cody's entrance.
Yeah, they were all good, but I'm talking Cody's entrance in night 1 wasn't anything special, though. Cody's entrance for this wasn't special. It was just his normal entrance. It was fancy gear. His special entrance was the next night. This was just...
I thought the whole, coming up from the stage thing was a little different. I didn't think he was...
He doesn't... It depends on what arena they're at. Yeah, he used to do that all the time in AEW, but you're right. He doesn't always do it on WWE. It depends on where they are. Yeah, he only does it on pay-per-views, I think, in WWF, yeah. So it was kind of special. But yeah, the final boss entrance, the gear, that was all great. Some of this stuff I missed because it was all over the place, but there were plenty of high spots. Like I said, The Rock went through a table. I believe it was The Rock that got suplexed outside, too. Wasn't it Seth and Rock were fighting, or was it Cody and Rock were fighting when the suplex happened outside on that platform type deal?
Yeah.
You remember that spot? Yeah, I think that was Cody and The Rock.
I was thinking it was Seth and The Rock, but I could...
It might have been Seth and The Rock, but see, I lost track there for a few minutes of it, too. But but it was great to see I thought The Rock looked amazing, because you got to think The Rock didn't have a match. Okay, they said technically his last match was 8 years ago, but that's when he squashed Eric Rowan at WrestleMania in 30 seconds. Rock's last actual match was 10 years ago. And obviously he's in phenomenal shape, but anybody will tell you that looking buff and being in ring shape are two different things.
Right.
So, also, by the way, now that all this has come out, before we dig into night 2 real quick, let's just throw this out there. All this really was, I had my doubts about if this was a swerve and all that, but the original plan really was not to have Rock and Roman was the original plan. That really was the original plan. Rock is the one Triple H came out in an interview and said this too. Rock is the one that called Triple H when the We Want Cody stuff started and said, Triple H, what about this? They obviously want Cody, so what if I turn heel? So this was all Rock's idea to change the plan and for him to turn heel and to have this tag team match. So they really were originally going to do Rock and Roman, and they really changed it because of the fans.
So last night,
it was the Rock's idea.
So last night, that's interesting not knowledge, but last night I just listened to our episode on Rock Bottom, and we talked about WrestleMania, and you were adamant that it was going to be Rock Roman and that Cody wasn't going to finish his story, that Cody was going to do it. I planned on doing a supercut. I didn't do it. I planned on doing a supercut of every time you said that it was going to be Rock Roman and that Cody wasn't finishing his story, and I was just going to be like, let me play all the times Boomer was wrong in this one episode.
But see, originally I wasn't wrong. That was the original plan. By the way, I was trying to. You notice this year I didn't do the finish the story campaign, right? I don't know. Were you ever a Seinfeld watcher? Did you ever watch Seinfeld at all?
I've seen it.
Not really. Anyway, George Costanza, who's a character on Seinfeld, decided one time that he was going to do everything like the opposite way he would normally do it. And it started working for him. So I thought if I said Cody wasn't going to finish his story, he would. I was trying to do that. Like George Costanza. George Costanza got a job with the Yankees by cussing out George Steinbrenner. He was like, all right, like he was doing the opposite of everything. So I thought I'd try opposite to see if
I just wanted to point out how wrong you were and how right.
I knew you would. I knew you would love to point that out.
I just listened to this episode and I'm just like, oh, look at me, right. Boomer, wrong.
I'll put it to you this way with this main event. I still thought it was a little long. I loved the ending of it. That's the way I expected it to go. I love they planted the seed for the injury. Like I loved all the storytelling in it. I loved all the action in the ring, and it had great storytelling that we knew was going to carry over. And there's more storytelling that gets teased through the rest of this Mania. So,
in my opinion, with the exception of one match, night 2 blows night 1 out of the water.
The match of the night for night 1 is definitely Sammy versus Gunther. The moment to me of night 1 is Sammy winning that match. So I think night 1's all about Sammy, not to take anything away from The Rock, but night 2's got a little more going for it as far as some surprises and stuff. So there you go. There was night 1. We both agree on what the best match was.
I would almost say I think that Sammy and Gunther might be my favorite match of the entire pay-per-view, but night 2 was better overall. I love that Sammy Gunther.
I
love Sammy Gunther.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. All right. Well, we will dive into night 2.
Seth versus Drew McIntyre.
Okay, I was trying to give a silent signal, but can we take a quick pause?
Oh, sure.
All right, now that we are back from our commercial break, I apologize. We're going to move on to WrestleMania Night 2, which, by the way, had a similar attendance. It was around 72,000 something. There might have been like 100 more there or whatever. And, of course, on Night 2, we got Stephanie McMahon, and that's the first I think we've seen her. First we've seen her on TV in a while. It was a little bit of a shock.
She was gone, wasn't she? Didn't she step down from WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Or her dad's stuff that happened?
That was when Vince was still on the board and she stepped away and everything. Yeah. So, but I think Triple H.
I didn't know she
must have. This is the first she's been on TV. I mean, other than they showed her like on camera at the Hall of Fame, but she didn't speak. Like she's been seen with Triple H. But as far as like Stephanie on TV like this, Yeah, first time in a minute. I was a little shocked too because just 2 or 3 weeks ago, her name came up in all this
Yeah, I
mess.
saw
That's
that
the
too,
part
so
that's the part that shocked me with her being out there. We're not going to talk about the negatives right now until more of that comes out because in Triple H we trust. Because I don't even want to think about it. Because if Stephanie was involved, I have a hard time believing Triple H didn't know about any of this stuff, and I don't want to think about that. Not saying he was involved. I'm just struggling with the fact that I don't see how he didn't know about it if Stephanie was. But anyway, we're gonna move. We're gonna save that for if we have to.
I hope neither one of them was involved, because if this is what we're getting with Triple H, I am so down for it.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so much that's about to happen. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to throw these 2 things outside. Don't forget the same 2 things that are going to happen with the Triple H era. One, thank you, Triple H. We are getting rid of sports entertainment. WWE is going to be wrestling again and not sports entertainment. And the other thing we're going to do is we're getting rid of the word universal. If you notice, there's a couple of people still said it, but Cody was introduced as the WWE champion. They left the Universal out. They are getting rid of the Universal part to Cody's title, which leads to the fact that Cody's obviously going to get a new belt, and many people are hoping it's a throwback to the original Winged Eagle. But yeah, we're getting rid of the Universal. We'll have the World Champion and the WWE Champion, and this is no longer going to be sports entertainment, folks. It's fucking wrestling. All right, thank God. That sports entertainment thing always bothered me. Hey, you know what? People think we're fake, so let's just call it what it is. Let's just come on. Anyway, we're trying to be more of a real sport. Here we go. Opening match night 2, Drew and Seth. Seth with an elaborate. Drew got a cool entrance too, and if you noticed, which I get it because it's a famous Scottish song, but that was actually Rowdy Piper's music that the bagpipe guys were playing in Drew's entrance at first, because it's a actual it's a well-known Scottish song, you know what I mean? It's not like that was exclusively Roddy Piper's theme. It's some kind of. So yeah, at the beginning there, that was Piper's music. I was hoping they were going to let him use Broken Dreams like they did at Clash at the Castle, but
I liked the going underneath all the swords. I thought was cool.
It was cool. It had a Braveheart look because they all had the. Yeah. And I actually want to go back and rewatch that because I bet you 5 years from now, like 5 of those guys that were holding swords are going to be on the main roster, because you can go back and see like CM Punk at WrestleMania before he was a star. You can see LA Knight as a security guard before he was a star. Usually the people in those things end up being wrestlers. Those guys were all probably from NXT and the training center and all that. So, and of course, Seth had an elaborate entrance with this local group from Philly and another elaborate outfit. And we got us a good dude. That pop for that Claymore right out of that was a great way to start that match. Oh, yeah. Fucking Claymore, 30 seconds into a Claymore kick, and the place popped. Oh yeah, like it was a great match.
This match a lot. Yeah,
I did too. It was such a good match, and even again, you got it, dude. Seth, another MVP is Seth Rollins. I'm not trying to take nothing away from Cody or anything else, but Seth has been the man for a long time now, and I hope he gets some time off. I'm gonna miss him on TV. But I hope Seth stays away, because all this was not just him selling his WrestleMania injuries. He's been injured for a while. But during this match, like every time he hit a curb stomp, it looked awkward because he's on the knee. His knee was hurt. He couldn't hit it. He couldn't hit it with the full force. And then having CM Punk on commentary was great too. So like good. when they were outside and Drew was ready to give him the DDT, and he's talking that shit to Punk, and it ends up getting reversed. He gets fucking pedigreed. And again. Yeah. Seth gives a pedigree on the outside and immediately goes back to the knee, selling that knee. The story in this was great. The match was great. And Drew finally got to win a championship in front of people, because you remember his last title was, of course, the Pandemic Mania. Drew had his moment. And the crowd, and Seth is a huge probably the babyface besides Cody. Cody's going to be the next one, but Seth's been the guy. Seth's been the Cena for a while. And Drew's a heel, and Drew's been a great heel with this Punk talking trash and all this shit. But there was a huge pop when Drew won. People were happy to see Drew win. So Drew finally got his win with the Claymore. There were like 3 of them, I think, before it was all said and done. He had to Claymore him a few times. And then he goes out to confront his buddy Punk. Can I let you know that it bothered me just a little bit, the way he crawled on the table at first? Like, what the fuck are you about to strip? It wasn't a scary crawl. It was like he was a cougar. Like, do I make you hold? That was awkward. You could have heard a pin drop in the arena when he crawled over like that. Like everybody's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So he proceeds to talk shit, Punk. Then he stands up after talking this
Punk's like,
awkward.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, he's like, "I can't hear you. I have a headset on. I don't know if you." So he stands up, does a crotch chop, and he's trying to celebrate. And Punk sweeps his legs out from under him. Then he takes his brace off and his jacket off, and he hits him with the brace.
You know,
Yeah.
I popped like a motherfucker when that happened. I was like, "Oh shit, Punk's
Me too.
okay.
Now what?
Punk is okay."
Well, he can't come back yet, but that's what people want, But still, what I loved, Punk's really good. WWE's been really good with subtle shit lately, okay? And I've noticed it. So Punk hits him with that. He beats him in a little bit, and he did this.
Yeah.
You know who used to do that, right? That's what his lovely wife AJ Lee used to do all the time.
Oh,
is blow a kiss at the camera. Nope. AJ Lee used to do that all the time. And as soon as Punk blows that kiss, the music hits, and for only the second time in WrestleMania history, we get a cash in. Senior Money in the Bank comes running down, hits Drew with the fucking briefcase, and then cashes in. He hits his move. I forget what they call it, like the sidewalk slam type thing, and the place goes crazy. And Damian Priest, the world heavyweight champion. What a moment. I think a lot of people, I was starting to think he was either going to cash in unsuccessfully or not fucking cash in because Money in the Bank's coming up quickly. Like it's almost, and then we haven't seen a Mania cash in since Seth. Now, part of me, like I said, if I didn't know where this was going, I'd be really disappointed because I like Drew and I'm like, fuck. But here we are. We're building stories. This is more fuel to the fire for this Punk and Drew. As soon as Punk comes back, we're going to get this Punk and Drew feud, and that's money. That's money.
And congratulations. They teased it more on Raw because Punk attacked Drew again on Raw.
Yeah, and then Punk stole Drew's meme where he was by the tombstone and it said he took CM Punk's main event. He pasted his face on there and said that he took Drew's main event away from him, 5-minute title reign. So it's building towards something. And congratulations to Damian. By the way, this is kind of crazy in my mind, but first Puerto Rican champion since Pedro Morales. 50 years. But I guess if you think about it, how many big Puerto Rican stars has there been between, besides Carlito?
Carlito wasn't the guy that we. Oh shoot! Damn, I can't think of his.
But I'm talking between like Pedro and now, there just wasn't a lot of Puerto Rican stars, in that period. But 50 years.
There was the Los Boricuas.
Those who were also related to Carlito. They were all related. Primo, Epico, all those guys, all the Boricuas from back in the day. Yeah. And I don't know if you've got to hear any of Damian's story, but Damian Priest was homeless like 5 years ago, and now he's the fucking world champion. That's crazy. And if you look him up, I can't remember what his name was before he got to WWE, but if you look him up, he looks totally different. He's like a Walter transformation. Do you remember what Gunther looked like when he was Walter? Yeah. Damian used to be big like that. Like, yeah, he looks like a total different guy than he used to. And like I said, when he first came to WWE, he was literally living out of his car. So there you go.
I got to share this real quick. I saw this on Wrestling Universe. And this is what the meme says. We really need to talk more about Drew's World Heavy title run. No bad matches, no bad promos. Ended before it got stale, and he put over young talent. Tremendous stuff.
It's a good run.
It's a good run.
Oh, that's funny. Good run. Here, this is something separate, but here's a mind-blowing fact for you. Seth Rollins defended the world title in his 1-year reign as many times as Roman defended his title in his 4-year reign. Same number of title defenses. 53. Same number. Wow. Yeah, isn't that crazy that Seth defended his title as many times as Roman? But see, Seth defends it on TV. This is why I like to have both the titles. And this is what I was talking about earlier. The next pay-per-view's Backlash in France, and our World Heavyweight Championship match is Damian Priest and main event Jey Uso. If we didn't have that other title, neither one of those guys would be in a title match. Neither one of them is facing Cody. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I like having the two titles. younger guys. Seth did a great job bringing that title in, but that world title can be for the guys that wouldn't normally get. Not just had title matches, but let's be honest, it was because Roman was champ. It was bloodline. I'm not saying Jay's not talented, but Jay got those title matches because it was the bloodline story. Now with these other titles on younger people, you get more opportunities. And I dig it. I dig it. I am not a huge Damien. I don't hate Damien. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a huge Damien fan. He's good. He's over. Congratulations. I'm just glad to see the newer talent is going to have an opportunity for this kind of stuff. So there you go. Good way to kick it off. Punk and Drew, can't wait to see. They're just building that heat. Maybe SummerSlam. Maybe if Punk's healed, that could be a SummerSlam match. Next, we got the Philly Street Fight with our special guest commentators, Snoop Dizzle, endorsing his new pre-mixed drink. I don't know if this is on sale yet. I guess I'll have to. I'm not really a liquor guy, but you can buy gin and juice in a can now. I mean, I'm gonna have to try it. Sipping on gin and juice. So there you go. And then we got our special guest referee, and it was fucking Bubba Ray Dudley. What a moment, right?
After the 2 pops that I just got, CM Punk, Drew winning.
Yeah. And now we get Bubba Ray.
And then we get Bubba Ray. Like, this beginning was holy shit.
Because let's be honest. I'm not trying to knock anybody in this match, but I wasn't really like, boy, I can't wait to see that Philly Street Fight.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Bubba
Ray, just like when Jason Kelsey came out for the tag team match.
So, and let's be honest, even when it first started, like Bubba got a great pop, and then the bell rang, and then nobody cared. Nobody gave 2 fucks what anybody was doing.
Until somebody brought the tables.
Yeah, until they got to this point where Cross brought out the glasses and then they were like, it was a nostalgia thing. They did the 3D, the nut shot and all that. So at the end, it was good, but this was just what it was. It was a nostalgia pop thing. They're in Philly. That's fine. Thank God they brought out Bubba because otherwise no one would have cared. And I like B. Lashley. I like the Street Profits. I like Karrion Kross. I didn't like AOP before. Maybe they're better now, but nobody was like, oh man, I can't wait for that. Like, no, that was just not nobody cared. So Bubba Ray saved it. It was entertaining.
It did.
It was buy your $20 burger match. Somebody showed pictures of the concession stand prices. I would not eat or drink at WrestleMania. I guess I would just have to swallow my saliva the whole time. Good God.
I think if you had the money to buy tickets for WrestleMania, you were probably good though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I wouldn't look. If I'm a millionaire, I still don't want to pay $22 for fries and a hot dog and a bottle of water. I don't want to pay that. That's just not. I don't give a fuck.
Think I'd care that much.
I'm gonna get a skybox where the food's already there. Anyway. All right. On to our next match. Yeah. Dude, let's be honest now. This was one of the biggest pops of WrestleMania when LA Knight came out, man.
Yeah.
He may not have got his title match, but he's over.
I will say that this match was kind of it was a fine match. It was fine. With all the craziness and the excitement of everything else, it was just a good match.
Well, yeah, let's be honest. Look, it was a WrestleMania moment for LA Knight, but it was like a SmackDown match. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Not that it was a bad match, but it wasn't anything over the top.
No,
it was just a decent.
It was like your regular, technical, decent match.
But I will say, like, AJ's jacked. AJ might look the best he's ever looked, and I'm sure you noticed he got a new theme song. He was talking about that the whole week leading up to WrestleMania. He said, I needed a new song because my character's changed, so it was time for a change. So, yeah, it was just an average match, but gave LA Knight a great WrestleMania moment with a talented performer, so I'm all for it. And I wasn't bored, but to be honest, if it wasn't if you didn't know it was WrestleMania, you'd be like, hey, that was a good SmackDown match. It was good,
Exactly.
That's all. It was fine. It wasn't anything over the top. It was just cool to see LA have a moment, and AJ did well, like always. And I think you're going to be, boy, you'll have to go back and listen to some of my old stuff after we talk about this next match, because it was the United States Championship match, triple threat. KO comes out in his KO Mania shirt. I love he does those every year. I don't know if you got to see it up close, but it was like, this is me. This guy's cool. Like pointed to Randy Orton. I would have said about KO. And then he was wearing the ECW colors. He had on the purple and red. That's the old ECW colors. Logan Paul got his entrance on the Prime tank, I guess it was. He shot the WrestleMania sign. And of course, Viper.
So first off, I want to point out that last year at WrestleMania, I remember being disappointed with the lack of elaborate entrances. Like, one thing I love about WrestleMania is the over-the-top great entrances. And I remember being disappointed last year. This year, not disappointed at all.
There were way more.
Oh my god!
And the KO golf cart might have been one of the best entrances.
And then telling Randy Orton, his opponent, like, get on, come on.
Backs up, get Randy Orton. And you could tell when they first took off Randy Orton, legit was like, slow down, dude. Like, slow that fucking golf cart down.
I also liked how when Kevin Owens came out, they mirrored what happened with Sami Zayn. And I tell you what, especially after
your turn now.
I wanted Kevin Owens to win this. But despite wanting Kevin Owens to win this, Logan Paul was impressive as fuck again. Oh my gosh. That frog splash, and then he jumps up and does like a...
took the words right out of my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go back and listen to old shows. And what I've said from day one about Logan Paul is what I wanted was him to sharpen his skills. Logan Paul came out about 2 months ago and said, I'm done boxing. I'm done doing all that other stuff. I am a WWE guy. It came out that he was spending time at the Performance Center. But let's be honest, I would say since he is the first guy since Kurt Angle who has taken to wrestling this quickly and this naturally. I'm not comparing him to Kurt Angle in the other way, but you get what I'm saying. I know you do. The man's been around, a year plus maybe? This was phenomenal, and damn it, I'm a Logan Paul guy.
Oh my god!
I'm not going to drink.
I'm not going to drink. Logan Paul's this good. I hate the fact that he's this good. But
that's the point. We're supposed to hate him.
Damn it!
I hate Logan Paul, but I hate him in a good way. Like, he's a great heel. This ended exactly.
Great heel, and he's entertaining us.
But he has sharpened his wrestling skills. That fucking move you just talked about, going from the frog splash to the stand up, and even KO. KO did a fucking moonsault in this match. Like,
it was so good.
And the storytelling at first, how it was Randy and KO both, like we're gonna get him, yeah. But then that point comes when you're like the first pin, like it always is, right? That first pin, it's like, hey, wait a second, that's mine.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better
about this match.
If a heel's gonna win a triple threat, there's nothing better than stealing the finisher. Yeah. Oh, you got an RKO. That's fine. I'm gonna take that. Thanks. I'm out of here. That was good shit.
And honestly, because of how impressive Logan Paul was, and even though I wanted KO to win, I have no issues with the ending. Like,
no, it was great. It was great.
Logan Paul deserved it. I mean,
yeah. And there were so many moments in this match, all these high spots and everything. And I even remember KO kicked out of a fucking RKO when you thought for sure it was over. Like that don't normally happen.
I think besides the main event that we haven't talked about, this was the best match of night 2.
Yeah. Other than the main event, definitely the best match of night 2. And for this YouTube content creator to come in and have a match with these two, look who he's in the ring with. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, and he hung in with them and had a hell of a match. I'm impressed.
He's an inspiration for all of us.
I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna become the tag team champ next year. WrestleMania, Awesome Truth. We're coming for you.
Boomer Blaze.
I'm bringing the Judgment Day with me too. Truth, I'm joining. You're out. But yeah, this was definitely. But you know what? I'm kind of torn because I think the next match was also a great match.
Oh yeah.
Bayley and Io. And what the question I have for you is, because I think you might know, was Bayley's outfit a homage to something, a cartoon or an anime or something? I didn't read anything, and I thought maybe you knew. I assume it was an homage to something. I don't know. I mean, she came out with like the whole Egyptian theme going, and
oh yeah, I thought that was cool.
She had the wings. She looked cool. I assume it was a tribute to something, but I don't know what.
Nothing I saw suggested anything to me.
So, but Bayley into the ring, and Bayley got a big booty, and I like it. And Io Sky came out after that. Hey, I'm just being honest. Bailey's got some junk in the trunk. The way you shake it, I can't. But anyway, you know what? I think this was a good This was a good match. Believe it or not, Bailey's never had a single match at WrestleMania. I don't know how that's happened.
Really?
That's what they said.
Oh wow.
That's what they said.
She's
And I swear that's what they. Maybe never a singles championship match is what they were saying, but there was something to do with one of the.
Seems because she was.
That's what it was. Bailey's never had a women's title match.
Yeah, I think I
single match. And I think this was Io's. Io Sky's got talent. I actually like Io Sky. I think this was Io Sky's best match. Again, this good storytelling. And even though Bailey had more experience and was the bigger, I'm talking physically bigger than Io, they did the whole injury. Again, Io worked on a body part, and it looked like Bailey was hurt. And was she going to be able to come back? And I'm happy. Bailey, the last of the 4 horsewomen to win a world title at WrestleMania. So she was, Sasha's already, Charlotte's already done it. Now Bailey's done it. So, and I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed this, and they got to go on right before the main event. That's a good spot for him. Io's going to be a star. I think Io's going to be a star, no problem.
Yeah, I like Io.
She'll be around for a long time. She's got a lot of talent. Very good match. Very good match.
Ready to talk about this main event for night 2?
This movie, this cinematic. This is the match that Kevin Nash had complaints about. But let me tell you what.
How? Why?
First of all, you know what I forgot to mention about night 1's match?
What?
And it changed in this, but how many times are you going to fuck up the Cody cutter and then keep trying to go for it? He missed 2 Cody cutters in that damn tag team match. Then when he finally nailed one on the Rock jumped too soon, so the timing was off. But anyway, here we go, night 2. My point of all that is because what I really wanted to say is before the shenanigans. First of all, we had both entrances. Cody's mask was badass. Found out that the same people that made the Fiend masks, the same gentleman made the Fiend masks, made Cody's mask for him. That was Kevin Nash's first complaint. He was like, I don't get the mask. And then if you're going to wear the mask, why are you going to take it off at the top of the ramp and then walk down without the mask?
It was cool. Fuck him.
Listen, Kevin, you came back before. Are you mad because Diesel never got a special entrance? What, you want to come out on a fucking semi? Shut up. Quit being bitter. Anyway, Roman, of course, had the orchestra, basically the string, brought him out. What I was going to say, though, was before we get to the shenanigans part, like the beginning of this was a good match. Them two going at it before all the other stuff was good. They were having a great match, telling a great story. This was everything I expected. There's actually wrestling fans at my job, and I called almost all of this, not exactly, but as far as who was going to get involved, I don't even know if we got to talk about it on the podcast because I can't remember the last time we recorded it, but there was, during that beatdown on Raw between The Rock and Cody, they showed a semi in the background and it had Stone Cold and John Cena's face on it. So everybody assumed that John Cena and Stone Cold were going to get involved. I totally knew. I mean, I didn't read it, but I totally expected John Cena to get involved. I expected whoever to get involved. Realistically, I knew there was no way Cody was going to win clean. He had to have backup. Some people are bitching about that, and we'll get to it in a second too. But the actual action before the shenanigans was great. And then, of course, Solo had to come out.
It was like, actually, Solo was second. First, Jay came.
Oh yeah, Jay came out first with a super kick. Jimmy came out with a super kick first. Yep, and then Jay came out.
I know at first, I'm watching it, and it was like an hour-long match, I think. And I was watching it, and I was just like, damn. I was like, you think, like, first off, I was saying, like, I don't want Cody to win with nobody interfering. Like,
right.
Roman has won every single match by having someone help him out. So it would not make sense for the story for somebody
if he didn't have him. Exactly. And for people that are complaining, I'm like, what do you mean? The greatest thing is there's actually Roman Reigns fans online saying Cody cheated. And I'm like, the fuck? Roman cheated every match. Tell me how many matches Roman won clean. I'd have to go back and look, but maybe 1, maybe 2. How did Cody cheat? Cody didn't cheat. Cody leveled the playing field is what Cody did. And by the way, Cody didn't bring those guys. They came out on their own, but it was leveling the playing field. This was what we needed. I've seen a lot of people call this WWE's version of the Avengers. And it's what it felt. And it's what it felt like. It's what it felt like. You needed your all-star team to take down the evil empire. Yeah. and when Cena's music hit, everybody popped. You know, the one that
there was
took
a part of me that kind of wanted Cody to overcome the odds without help, but then I was like, that really doesn't make sense. I mean, that's
no, it wouldn't have made sense
storytelling
and
wise for Cody
I
to
think,
do
I mean,
everything himself.
technically the one thing we could have done without, technically the only help that Cody did get was Cena gave Roman an attitude adjustment. If Cena would have done that, you know, then technically Cody didn't have help. He had neutralization, not help.
Yeah.
He just had neutralization. The one that surprised me was the Undertaker.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see the Undertaker.
Well, that was supposed to be the Stone Cold spot.
Oh.
The deal didn't work out, and the rumor is the reason the deal didn't work out because apparently, I never heard this before, but apparently The Rock and Stone Cold have real life heat, like not wrestling heat, like real life. Like Stone Cold apparently is not a fan of The Rock, and that's why the deal didn't work out because Austin did not want to do business with The Rock. So the Undertaker was not the original plan. But it made sense. Some people were like, well, how's The Undertaker involved in this? Well, don't you remember? Now, it may have been before the bloodline, but we'll beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. So The Undertaker is involved in this. Like, come on.
Well, he was, Roman beat him, and then Paul Heyman was the manager of Brock, who also beat him.
Yeah.
So he had both of those.
Yeah. And The Rock and Undertaker feudable, you know, besides it was just, look, this is why I love wrestling. Like, I loved every moment of this shit. I was in every single moment of this. And the pop when they counted the 3. And I said it earlier, and I'm on it. I really did go to tears. It was so, everyone was really emotional for real. By the way, you can watch the video online, but Seth was legit hurt. And he was off to the side, like where they were putting the belts all night on that little like podium, leaning up against it, and he was crying. And when Sammy came over, you can hear Seth say, I want to thank Cody, but I can't get up. And that's why Sammy and KO helped Seth up and brought him around. And then you had that little interaction where it was like, I owe you. So Seth really is banged up. His back was already hurt. His knee was already hurt. He probably got hurt again because he was legit crying, not just because he was happy for Cody. No. But that's another one. How many people do you think? Now, I never did, but how many people do you think when the Shield music hit? I know there were people that thought they were going to see fucking Dean.
I thought Dean Ambrose was there.
That happened.
I was not expecting Seth in his. No, I just got a question. After the first match of the night, did Seth have to go in the back and get his hair dyed? Like, was his whole time during WrestleMania just watching WrestleMania on the monitor?
They probably did dye it real quick. I mean, they probably sprayed it in. Here's the thing, though. See, I loved this, and we're getting to the end of the match. So Seth comes out in the Shield gear. Roman cut him off, right? And that's when Taker, I think, showed up. But you get to the end of the match, and Roman's got this fucking chair, and it's game over. He can beat Cody down. He can take his title and keep going, but he sees Seth. And Roman finished his story from 10 years ago. That revenge, that taste, that chair to his back, he still was holding on to that. This is fucking this is the Triple H era. Right. Talk about storytelling. He just got revenge for something that happened 10 years ago, but it cost him. And it cost him his title.
I loved it.
Dude, that moment gave me chills. Like, it was all great. But when I saw him hesitate, I'm like, oh, fuck. You're still holding on to that, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. And then all the emotion, and we were talking about Samantha Irvin, and everybody was already crying. There's tears everywhere. He brings out Triple H. He brings out Brother Love. Can't remember his real name. Bruce Pritchard. And when Samantha announced it, and just all of it got to, I had a little tear. I did. Because the thing is, folks, Rhodes was never the top guy in WWE. It never happened. Never. And it never would have. You know why it didn't happen last year? I said this on one of our earlier shows, and it's true. Vince didn't let it happen. Cody was supposed to finish his story last year. Vince changed his mind. That's why last year was not Triple H's WrestleMania, because Vince still had power, and Vince changed that. Vince didn't want. Now, it led to a great story, so I'm not totally upset. The bloodline thing was great. But I don't.
Worth it that he waited.
I don't know if Cody. I don't know if Cody would have ever finished the story if Vince was still in charge. You know, so
probably not. Fuck Vince. That's
but the best part about this is everything so Cody's the champ. Now that's a whole nother story. The Bloodline story is not over. This didn't end the Bloodline story. So what's going to happen with the Bloodline next when Roman does come back? That's the next question.
SmackDown.
It gives us something to look forward to. And found out during WrestleMania weekend that we won't. I mean, Roman needs time off anyway, but Roman's cancer's back. So it's kind of funny how timing works out. You know what I mean? Like, this wasn't the original plan. Roman probably would have retained at WrestleMania if they wouldn't have done this swerve and had to keep going. But yeah, they say he's doing oral treatment. So his cancer's come back, you know, and he's been on this 4-year, this amazing run. Thank you, by the way, Roman. I remember hating it at first. I hated it. And I know you remember when it started, I hated it. I can specifically remember episodes where I'm like,
a lot.
Yeah. And then
loved it.
It took a week or two. It was, as a matter of fact, it's when the Punk shit went down. At the same time that Punk made me hate him, I ended up acknowledging Roman. It was that same. I remember all that.
Because you argued like, this is how you
you do a press conference.
Do a press conference.
Yeah.
Acknowledge me. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of crying about So. Man, what a ride it was.
You're wrong a lot. I should make a
no, that wasn't me being wrong. That was me just not liking the Bloodline. That's an opinion. I was not like the Bloodline. I just didn't like it.
I said what I said.
Wrong or right's an opinion. That's not a.
No, you were.
But this was great. This was great. And of course, Raw following up was pretty good too. Except, God, here we go. Cody got a fucking Hulk Hogan promo. Got to talk for 80 hours. That promo was too long. I liked it, but Jesus, it was like 30 minutes long.
I loved
and The Rock.
It. I loved it.
The Rock coming out was great.
Stuff. I loved Roman, or I loved Triple H even thanking Roman, or them thanking Roman. I think it was Cody that actually thanked him.
Yeah. But Cody did. Cody acknowledged him and thanked him, and I like that. Again, doesn't that make it feel more like a real sport too? Like, that's something you could do in a real. You would acknowledge your, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can cross those lines and blur them together and make it work. I'm glad he acknowledged Roman, because it was a hell of a reign. No matter how he did it, it was a hell of a reign.
Yeah.
Oh, and also I was going to mention this too. Now that we have a champion that's going to be on TV, I don't mind Logan Paul now being the not all the time champion, because I don't feel like he will be. We're not going to see Logan Paul every week. I don't think. Not right now. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with one person being that special, not there all the time, but I didn't want Logan Paul not being on TV and Roman not being on TV and this champion not. You can't have one champion. That's okay. Now Logan Paul can be a special attraction for now while Roman's gone, because Cody's going to be on TV all the time. We're not going to have that part-time.
Oh, sure.
Damien's going to be on TV all the time. So now we got a whole different era, and I'm excited to see where this goes. They also announced the draft is coming back, by the way.
The end of the month.
And Braun Breaker just said goodbye to NXT, so he is definitely now coming to the
that's cool
main roster. Him and Corbin lost the tag titles at TakeOver, and he said goodbye to everyone. So he's going to the draft. He's going to the main roster for real now. So there we go.
Before we finish up, there was one thing I needed to bring up about Raw. I waited until all this story was done.
You did. You waited.
I loved the promo with the Judgment Day, and then
R-Truth coming out.
R-Truth coming out. I was like, hey, I brought the tag titles back to the Judgment Day. Hey, we need to talk about bringing the Miz in.
I don't want to be in the Judgment Day. That was all great, and the fact the crowd knew exactly who he was talking about when he was like, "It's our partner. You can't see."
Like, the fans are like John
Cena.
Can't
see him.
Even the announcers are playing dumb. It's like, well, R-Truth's just dumb, and now this is a 2-on-3 match.
Yeah. And like Miz was like, "Wait, you're talking about a real, you're talking about a real partner and not little Jimmy, right?"
It was so good.
It was, and the fact that R-Truth does the Cena thing and talks about him being his child a hero, even though I think R-Truth's older than Cena, to be honest. I do believe he is. And he does the 5 moves all the time. Like, it was a great moment. It was. That's what I'm saying, dude. R-Truth is gold, man. R-Truth is gold.
I know.
Because he is that funny guy, but he can go in the ring, and the stuff he does is just... Wasn't it a Royal Rumble when he brought the fucking ladder out a couple years ago because he thought it was Money in the Bank? You remember that? Wasn't that like during the Royal Rumble? He got under the ring, put a ladder in there because he thought he was in Money in the Bank. I mean, come on. R-Truth is... And I've always been a huge Miz fan. I've always liked this. I even liked Miz way back in the day when he did the chick magnet thing and he had the hat and all that shit. Like I always liked him.
I actually hated the Miz at first, but I'm looking forward to looking at his stuff from back then when we get to it to see if like maybe he was always good and I just had a bias because he was a reality TV star or
like
something.
I did with all like the UFC guys and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe.
But dude, I can't wait to see the old Miz and Morrison stuff from back in the day.
Oh yeah, that was
and they started
that's around the time I started liking the Miz. I think.
Well, that's when he started really like developing his. At first, he was just in exactly what you said. Like his character literally was, "I'm the reality guy that won." You know.
Well, I seem to recall his matches being like he was. It took him a while before he became good.
I'm sure it did. But that's why it's interesting to go back and.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I don't actually remember. I don't remember his before Miz and Morrison. I mean, I know he was there before then, but that's when I started liking the Miz. They were a great tag team. They were entertaining. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to watch.
I kind of remember him, but I remember hating him. So
yeah, and they were like the first one because remember the internet was new back then, so they started doing like this weekly internet show, and they would show it on SmackDown and stuff. But I forget what they called it. It was some kind of Hollywood whatever. But yeah, that's gonna be good stuff. But so overall, what's your thoughts? Now listen. I don't think this is the biggest WrestleMania ever. Night 2 was way better. Night 2 felt like a mania. You know.
Let me put it to you like this. I've been saying to people, I'm trying to think if it's not my favorite WrestleMania of all time, it's possibly in my top 5 at least.
Yeah. At least I would say it's in the top 5 too.
Because I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I believe there's probably going to be WrestleManias that we haven't got to on our show that I do think I remember maybe liking. Like I remember the Daniel Bryan winning the title. That was a huge
30. That was 30. Yep.
So 10 years ago. Yeah. So like I'm sure there are
six sticks out for me only because of Hogan, but that whole WrestleMania wasn't good. Now 10 was a good one. 10 was Bret and Owen and then Bret and Yo later that night. That was a good one. You know, we could dig our rankings out, but I would definitely put this in the top.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's a WrestleMania we've watched that is better than this WrestleMania.
But Night 2 is what really put it over the top. Yeah. Night 2 was the bigger night,
but
in my opinion.
The first match might be, the Gunther and Sammy match might still be my favorite, though.
Oh, it's my favorite WrestleMania, no doubt. The story, Cody's story. And that finishing was great, but my favorite thing about Mania was Sammy. I think it's because I didn't expect it. I think was part of it too.
What was WrestleMania 14? That was the newest one we've watched.
14?
Yeah, the last one we watched was 14.
So that would have been Taker and that would have been Austin and was that Austin and Rock? See, I'm pretty good at this stuff, but we're trying to go from 40 to 14. It's like
14 is what I have as my favorite WrestleMania.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking.
So that's when we just did. Oh yeah, because that's the Tyson. That's the Tyson thing.
Oh yeah, that one has a lot of nostalgia.
Austin, Shaw, yeah. That's why that was a good one because of that.
I think this I would definitely put this over that, and that is my top one as of right now out of 14.
It's better than last year. It's better than last year's Mania. Now last year's Mania was a more badass like environment just because it was in SoFi, but this was a better Mania than last year. Probably the last two because I can't even remember. Tampa, is that the one before that? Yeah, it's the best one probably since 30, which was Daniel Bryan.
I think so too.
Unless you want to throw in there 31 or 32, which is the one I talked about at the beginning of the show, which is where Sting fought, and that was the heist. That was Seth cashing in. That was Randy Orton, RKO, and Seth Rogen. You know, so that was probably. So it's been a while since we've had one this good. I agree, definitely. I was happy. I walked away satisfied. You want to know the whole truth? I didn't even watch all of WrestleMania last year until way later. Like we even recorded our review, and I hadn't even watched all the matches from that one. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This one I spent all Sunday watching. I watched night 1 in the morning, and then I watched Sunday night as it was happening. So
I started watching night 1 at 8:00, and then was not able to finish it. I had my kids this weekend, so I ended up watching the rest of night 2 while my kids were at work on Sunday, and then I actually got to watch night 2 as it aired, kind of as it aired. I went to Rage's house and watched it with him, but he needed to finish night 1, so I had to rewatch the Roman and the tag team match. So I watched that tag team match twice, and then we watched, and he was on that, and we were about an hour behind, but we watched it as it aired an hour behind. So
gotcha. Oh, that's right. Okay. I wanted to look up real quick. So we did it. We were so glad to be back. Hopefully we're going to try to get back on schedule, folks. I try to stay active on social media, but it's work. It's our real life work. Gets in our way. We were talking before this aired. We think we're going to be good next week to be back. If that's the case, St. Valentine's Day Massacre is where we're going to be. And I remember we did touch on that because there's a big debut on St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
I think I've even made the poster art for that. If I remember right,
you might, because I think I even have some of my like pictures made for it, but of course things happen. But hey, we got to do this today.
I remember I made the post art where I'm Vince McMahon, and I think I was going to make you into a flower. I was going to make you the rose that put your face, but I don't think I got your face yet. So,
right.
But
so hopefully everything works out. We'll be back next week like normal. But overall,
I think I might release this as soon as I can get it done. Just because it's a review of pay-per-view, and we'd rather not put it on Saturday where it's after. So I'm going to try to get this done tonight and release it today.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so there you go. All right, we did it, and I'm glad we got to sneak it in. We're going to plug some pluggables real quick and wrap it up because my coworker here has to do life work. So
I have to go do my job.
He's got to go do that real life stuff.
You can find me at Dragon Blazer Productions on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, and the TikTok. You can also find me at
TikTok.
At Dragon Blazer Pro on the X.
The X.
And Threads somewhere around there. There's also
he's got some threads too. Thread is somewhere. We got a Boomer and Blaze Show Facebook page. Check that out. You can follow us.
We do.
Boomer_Blaze. That's on the Insta and the X. And then we were at Boomer and Blaze Show on the TikToks. We also have a YouTube page. We have a YouTube page. He also has the Dragon Blazer Production YouTube page, which shares some of his other stuff in our little family here, which is I like is kind of just us now. Oh, and your son. You got him going too.
Review.
Yes, we got the movie review, but
we need to record one for. We just got done watching The Last Jedi on our Star Wars watch, and
nice.
You know what? A lot of people hate that movie, and I liked it. I thought there was a lot of good to that movie.
Oh, definitely.
But
people haters hate. But there you go. We did it. We squeezed one in, and hopefully we'll be back next week. St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Until then, this has been the Boomer Blaze Show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze.
And good night from Dragon Blaze Studios.
Hey everyone, this is Blaze from the Ragin' Blaze and the Boomer and Blaze show. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more wrestling content.